Okay, and welcome to another tutorial by Kui. Recently, I uploaded an animation about coffee beans, and it turns out people really like it. And if you haven't seen it, please check the link in the top right corner. And today, I'm gonna show you how to make this. Okay, first we're gonna make a circle, and then give it 8 vertices. Okay, that's pretty good. And then we extrude it out, scale it down. Then I'll select this circle and extrude it, scale it down. And then we Control F and choose Fill Grid to fill the circle. Then we select this one and then hit F to make a face out of it. And then insert. I'm gonna join this one and this one. So we select the loops and then Control B to bevel, give it 2 segments. That's pretty good. Then we just scale it to have the shape of the coffee bean. I'm gonna scale this one as well. Select the middle edge, then pull it down. Okay, add another loop cut here. Scale it up. I'm gonna fix this one. Then hit Control 1 to have a subdivision surface. Then shade smooth. This one is pretty much like coffee bean. Then we select this border. Then we choose to edge select, right click and mark scene. Then we switch to the UV editor. Select all, hit U and unwrap. So we're gonna give it material. Choose the image texture, open and choose texture. I also have this texture for free. You can download it in the description box. Okay, let's unwrap again. Then we select the bottom face, you can see it, and then match it with the texture here. Then select the upper face and do the same thing. And you can also have many beans that have different texture that I have here, but in this tutorial I only do one material. Okay, go to the shader editor and then we add another bump factor. Connect the same texture to the height and we're gonna crank it out, the strength and the distance. 0.2 is okay. Okay, it's pretty much like coffee bean now. Gonna add the plane to have some collision on it. Then Shift D to duplicate the coffee beans. Then Shift R to repeat. Okay, maybe more. Okay, then we scale it up. Have it not the collision but the rigid body, set it to passive and give it some texture. Okay, black is okay. So we're gonna select on the beans and then we're gonna select an active bean here. Okay, and then to the rigid body, set it to active, and all the rest is okay. Then we're gonna uncheck in the subdivision displays to make it more easy in the viewport, and then Ctrl L and link the modifier. Okay, go to the object, rigid body, and copy from active to have the same properties of rigid body to the rest, and let it play. Okay, this is quite uniform, so I'm gonna stop it and reset it. We have to apply a randomized rotation to it. Go to object, transform, and randomize transform. Set the rotation to something like this one, and then each pin is rotated in random directions. Hit it, play again. Yeah, much better, more random. So I think this pin is too big, so I'm gonna scale it down. First I'm gonna set the individual origin and then scale it down a little. Then I will apply another randomize. This one is not the rotation but the location. Set the Z location to something higher, and then you can see the pin is straight in the Z axis. This one is pretty good and it's much more natural. Okay, let's stop. Now we're gonna add a plane and then scale it up, pull it down, and give it some thickness. And this pad will be like a platform that will lift our pins up in the air. So we're gonna set the keyframe here and then move it up and set another keyframe. And this one will push our pins up. Add another rigid body, make it passive, and check on the animated because we're gonna animate this one. And oops, and maybe this pad is too soon. I'll make it faster and later. Okay, about this, and yeah, maybe too fast. So I'm gonna straight it, and yeah, this one's quite good. Okay, I'll add a camera here and then put it back. I'll set the focal length to 85. This one is good enough. Let it play again. And maybe it's too far. I will go forward and pull it down a little. Yep. Okay. This one is quite good. Go to the rigid bodywork and set the speed to something like 0.5, and it will be slower. As you can see, oops, the pad is still the same, so we're gonna adjust this like later. Okay, hit it, play it again. Yeah, so that one's too fast. I'm gonna stretch the keyframes and hit it, play again, and that is perfect. This is what we want. Okay, we're gonna make the frame a little longer, then check in the rigid bodywork as well. With 350 is okay. Okay, and we're gonna bake it. We're gonna stop right there and set this one as the, okay, maybe this one. This one maybe the start of the keyframe. Okay, then the keyframe will start at 140. Next, we're gonna animate the camera. Go to the 140 and add a location. And then go to the 350. Move the camera up a little and then add another location. Just hit I and location. Pretty easy. As you can see, the camera is moving forward. We're gonna hit T here and switch it to linear. But this way we can remove the smooth in and smooth out effect. I'll set the frame rate into 30 and to the render mode. As you can see, we do not have any light here, so I'm gonna do the world and set the world into dark brown like that, and switch to Eevee. So in this original video I use Eevee, so this one I will also use Eevee. We're gonna add a area light to shine from top down. Set the power up, maybe more. Okay, and set the color into hot orange, maybe more yellow. Okay, that's good. Then I'm gonna add two lights to shine from both left and right. So I'm gonna duplicate this one and then duplicate link this one, so that I will change the light here and the other one will follow. I'll make it more blue to be more dramatic and crank it up. Okay, this one maybe need to be brighter. So the beans here is quite low poly. When we render, it will appear like this one. Okay, add another plane for the background of the video. Okay, I delete this one. And we're gonna put it like backward, and it will be the background. I will add another material, set it to emission. Then for the color, I will add a gradient texture, and then hit Ctrl T and set the vector to object. Set the linear to spherical. Then we'll have a spotlight background. I'm gonna set the white value to something like red, and then switch to B-spline to make it more smoother, and this one maybe more red. Then I'll add another color here change the hue value to something like orange. Okay, this is good. Then maybe set the strength down a little. Okay, the scene is ready to render. One last thing is the camera. I'm gonna give it some depth of field. Gonna set the distance, go to the viewport and enable the limit so you can see the focus point of the camera. Set the focal distance to something between the beams and set the f-stop down to make it more shallow. And maybe this one is quite good. Okay. Okay, now I'm gonna adjust the material a little. Maybe this one will be shinier a little. And then for the bump here, I use the color ramp to make it more black and white. And then we use the color ramp to the specular. Then the white area will receive more light than the dark area. This will bring more realism to your beams. Okay. In the cycle render, we can check the motion blur to have more realistic result, like this one. Yeah, the motion there is not quite visible, so we're gonna bring up this shutter to 2, and yeah, it's visible now. So, but in the EV render, you cannot have the motion blur. As you can see, no motion blur. Even when we check the motion blur, it's not appear. And even we crank up the shutter, nothing happens. That's because the motion blur here is only used for the camera motion blur, not the actual geometry motion blur. So maybe I'll add another light to the background, and I will duplicate this one, then set the color to red, and you can see we have a key light here, and make it more dramatic. Okay. Okay, and that's it. For other scenes, you can use the same method to make like this one. Here I have some beans falling into the container and make it open like that. And this is what we have. Another scene is the roasting scenes. I'll set the beans fall into the rotating blade and then let the physics do the rest. As you can see here, it's pretty easy. See that the physics is quite good. Okay, and that's it guys. Hope you like this video and hope you learned something. I'll be back on next Saturday with new tutorial. See you around.